I really struggled to let it go. I remember my wife saying that. She goes, "You're kind of a hot mess." Like, I wouldn't use those words to describe you, but I wasn't sleeping very well.
Has Blake Lively gone from picture-perfect red carpet star to secret mastermind, pulling the strings on one of the most anticipated superhero films of the decade? Rumors swirling around the set of Deadpool 3 suggest exactly that. For months, fans were already buzzing about Ryan Reynolds reprising his snarky Deadpool role alongside Hugh Jackman's long-awaited return as Wolverine. But now, it's Blake Lively who's making unexpected headlines. Some believe she's not only appearing in the movie, she might be reshaping it from the inside. No official producer credit in sight. This all started with a single photograph, a behind-the-scenes glimpse of Blake sporting a portion of Deadpool's trademark red suit. What seemed like an innocent, playful moment quickly morphed into fiery speculation. Was she playing a female Deadpool, sneaking in a cameo? Or, and this is where things get wild, was she exercising creative control over major plot decisions? Then came the whispers, alleged insider scoops, anonymous tips to gossip sites, and the unthinkable suggestion that Hugh Jackman himself was taken aback by just how much influence Blake wielded. If you believe the rumors, one of Marvel's biggest stars was watching from the sidelines as Blake, beloved and glamorous, stepped into the driver's seat. If this is all true, how did we get here, and what does it mean for Hollywood's power dynamics? Let's dive deep into every scandalous claim, every whispered rumor, and every puzzling piece of evidence that has fans wondering if we've all underestimated Blake Lively. Deadpool 3 was already poised to be a blockbuster phenomenon. With Ryan Reynolds owning his wisecracking role and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine finally crossing paths with the merc with a mouth, the hype train was unstoppable. Fan theories multiplied, from cameo predictions to plot speculation about how the notoriously comedic Deadpool would mix with the gritty, embittered Wolverine. Everything changed when an image surfaced online showing Blake Lively on set. She wasn't just there to watch Ryan in action. She wore a section of the iconic red suit, be it a mask, a glove, or a partial costume piece. At first, fans went wild at the idea of a Lady Deadpool cameo, referencing a storyline from the comics where Wanda Wilson, Lady Deadpool, exists in an alternate universe. Social media exploded. Memes popped up left and right. Some found it hilarious, others oddly convincing. But excitement soon turned into shock when sources close to the production started dropping hints that Blake wasn't just playing dress-up. One unverified post claimed she'd been offering pointed creative notes to the director. Another rumored that entire storyline threads were shifted because of her input. It was as if that single photo was the tip of an iceberg, a glimpse beneath which lay a labyrinth of tension, last-minute rewrites, and an actress rumored to be orchestrating more than a cameo. Fans debated on message boards. Was Blake's involvement a classic case of nepotism, or was she proving herself a savvy contributor? The more people talked, the more the lines blurred. Suddenly, the gossip wasn't just about a cameo. It was about whether Blake had overshadowed the creative process, and whether Ryan Reynolds had any qualms about his wife's looming presence on set. In a matter of days, the conversation went from is Blake Lively cameoing as Lady Deadpool to is Blake Lively hijacking the entire production? A single snapshot had unleashed a frenzy, and nobody seemed entirely sure where the truth ended and the rumors began. One thing was clear, the normally affable Hugh Jackman was reportedly less than thrilled, and that alone was enough to keep tongues wagging. After all, if Wolverine isn't happy, you know something serious might be brewing. What do we really mean when we say Blake Lively may have moved beyond a cameo? Imagine her on set, at first just stopping by to cheer on Ryan, or a cameo in a fun, comedic bit. But according to the whispers, she didn't just watch from the sidelines. She started making recommendations, small at first, maybe about a line of dialogue or a comedic beat. But as the story goes, those suggestions quickly ballooned into major structural changes. Some claim the entire third act of Deadpool 3 underwent significant revisions after Blake weighed in. Crew members who spoke anonymously to tabloid reporters described a scenario where the creative team felt pressure to incorporate her ideas. One alleged insider said, "It wasn't just a cameo. She was practically in the writer's room." While that's certainly an exaggeration, there's no confirmation she literally sat down with screenwriters. The rumor won't die that her opinions carried serious weight. The director, a professional known for balancing comedic style with cinematic flair, reportedly found himself at a crossroads. On one hand, Blake's suggestions were sometimes clever or interesting enough to consider. On the other, It's highly unusual for a non-credited individual to sway plot points in a blockbuster with a huge budget. The tension amped up when higher-ups supposedly asked if these changes were Blake's idea, or if they aligned with the original story vision. Some say the director defended the alterations, while others believe he caved under star power and the allure of a power couple fueling extra marketing buzz. Viewers of Hollywood drama know how quickly gossip can spiral out of control. Yet the idea that a major film could be reoriented around someone who isn't officially part of the production is unprecedented enough to keep fans riveted. Why would Marvel or the studio allow that? Is Ryan leveraging his fame to back Blake's creative instincts? Or is Blake simply that persuasive, able to quietly shift the winds of an entire set? The dividing line between cameo and control is fuzzy at best, leaving everyone to wonder, is this all hype for a bigger reveal? Or are we witnessing a genuine behind-the-scenes power shift? As speculation snowballs, Hugh Jackman's rumored reaction made it all the more tantalizing. If Deadpool is known for breaking the fourth wall, perhaps the biggest twist is happening in real life, where an unexpected player is rewriting the script, literally and figuratively. Hugh Jackman's return as Wolverine is a monumental event, especially after he seemingly hung up the claws following Logan. Fans rejoiced when Ryan Reynolds convinced him to come back for one more ride. But the excitement around Wolverine-Deadpool team-ups has been overshadowed by scuttlebutt about Blake Lively's alleged takeover. And if the gossip mill is correct, Jackman himself might be one of the first to notice or openly comment on the shift in power dynamics. People close to the production claim Jackman appeared caught off guard by how rapidly Blake's role expanded. One rumor states he was overheard telling a colleague, "I've never seen anything like this," possibly referencing an actress not listed as a producer somehow influencing major decisions. Another piece of unconfirmed chatter suggests he questioned whether certain comedic bits fit Wolverine's well-established character, only to learn those new moments came from Blake's suggestions. For a star with Jackman's stature to feel blindsided speaks volumes. He's famously easygoing, rarely embroiled in drama. Yet stories of him raising concerns about how the film's tone might be shifting fuel the suspicion that something truly unusual is happening. Jackman also has a reputation for championing respectful collaboration on set. So if he's uncomfortable, it hints that lines might be getting blurred. Lines between cameo actress, star spouse, and actual behind-the-scenes power player. Critics of the rumor say it's all smoke and no fire. They argue that Jackman's shock is either fabricated or a passing comment blown out of proportion by tabloids looking for a juicy headline. After all, we have no direct quote from Jackman clarifying his stance. But for fans who love a good real-life plot twist, the possibility that Wolverine feels overshadowed by an unexpected co-producer is too enticing to ignore. No matter what the truth is, the fact that so many eyes are on Hugh Jackman's reaction underscores how big this story has become. If Wolverine, the gruff antihero who's become one of Marvel's flagship characters, ends up sidelined in favor of creative changes from an off-screen influencer, then perhaps the real showdown isn't between Deadpool and Wolverine, but between Wolverine and Blake Lively. And that, my friends, is the kind of headline no one saw coming. For those who followed Blake Lively's career, the Deadpool 3 rumors might feel like deja vu whispers about her on-set influence trace back years, most notably to her time on Gossip Girl. While the show turned her into a household name, backstage stories hinted she was more than just Serena van der Woodsen. Tales circulated that she had a knack for rallying the cast around her preferences and alienating anyone she deemed unsuited for the show's vibe. The most famous of these rumors centered on Penn Badgley, her real-life boyfriend at one point, who played Dan Humphrey. According to unconfirmed stories, she had an initial distaste for him being cast, and allegedly told producers and fellow actors she wasn't thrilled about working so closely with him. One account even claimed she outright admitted to poisoning the crew against him in a joking manner, suggesting it was all in good fun. But was it truly just a joke? Some cast members, speaking off the record, described a hierarchy that formed around Blake's circle. Penn, though talented and fairly reserved, apparently became the odd one out whenever tensions arose. Social media threads still resurrect these old confessions, debating whether Blake was simply standing her ground or actively orchestrating clique-like behavior that made Penn's experience miserable. In fairness, Blake has her defenders. They argue she's just a confident individual who knows what she wants, and that gossip about sabotage is overblown. But when you fast forward to the present day, with rumors swirling that she's strong-arming creative decisions on big-budget projects, those older stories feel eerily relevant. Is it all part of a larger pattern? Fans point to a handful of interviews and articles where Blake's comedic admissions about teasing co-stars could be read more darkly. Critics say these anecdotes underscore a history of manipulative tactics. Supporters counter that this narrative has been inflated by tabloid culture hungry for drama. Yet the question remains, if the Blake Lively we see in public is different from the version operating behind the curtain, what exactly is she capable of when she wants control? For now, those old Gossip Girl tales serve as a cautionary backdrop. Once dismissed as petty on-set drama, they become crucial puzzle pieces in understanding the bigger picture. Perhaps the pattern of poisoning the well is far more than a fleeting rumor. And if so, Deadpool 3 might be the highest stakes instance yet. Blake Lively's involvement in the adaptation of It Ends With Us raised eyebrows from the start. The best-selling novel by Colleen Hoover had fans on the edge of their seats, eager to see how a sensitive and complex story would translate to film. Justin Baldoni, known for directing heartfelt projects and fostering positive on-set environments, appeared the perfect person to helm it, until, according to rumors, Blake Lively commandeered the entire operation. Some versions of the story paint it as simple creative collaboration gone awry. Blake supposedly asked for script tweaks and offered scene suggestions. But the talk of minor adjustments soon escalated to claims that she took full creative control, overshadowing Baldoni to the point that his directorial vision got lost. Tension reportedly exploded when certain cast members found themselves aligning with Blake's approach, leaving Baldoni in an awkward minority on his own project. Then came the drama about alleged leaks and phone records. Whispers spread that private text messages were shared publicly to paint Baldoni in a negative light, only for him to demand proof that these messages were real or taken out of context. Next thing you know, there were hints of legal threats, with each side accusing the other of crossing lines. The entire fiasco turned a romantic drama adaptation into a Hollywood soap opera. Insiders who claim to have worked on the film say they saw a side of Blake that was extremely meticulous and borderline domineering. In one alleged instance, she insisted on rewrites just days before a key shoot, leaving Baldoni scrambling to hold the production schedule together. Others say the friction was less about script changes and more about on-set loyalty, reminiscent of the Gossip Girl rumors. Cast and crew reportedly felt pressured to stand with Blake if they wanted to maintain a harmonious work environment. Baldoni, for his part, largely stayed quiet in public, though speculation about behind-the-scenes tension never really died down. Now, with fresh rumors about Blake Lively's involvement in Deadpool 3, observers can't help but draw parallels. Is this simply the way Blake works, taking charge, offering bold ideas, and pushing boundaries? Or are we looking at a pattern of overshadowing creative leads until they either step aside or get forced out? If the allegations from It Ends With Us hold any truth, then Deadpool 3 might just be the next battlefield. The question is, will it be an even bigger stage for rumored manipulation, now that the stakes are infinitely higher and the spotlight brighter? Only time and possibly more leaked evidence will tell. One of the strangest turns in this ongoing saga involves two of Blake's closest allies, her husband Ryan Reynolds and her longtime friend Taylor Swift. In a leaked snippet of conversation, unverified but widely circulated, Blake allegedly called them her dragons. The implication? They stand guard against attacks on her reputation, ready to breathe fire at critics or anyone threatening her image. Ryan, of course, is no stranger to comedic feuds and playful jabs. He's built an empire around being Hollywood's witty sweetheart with a golden track record at the box office and in business ventures. Yet behind his charming social media banter, rumors say he's been forced into a delicate balancing act. On one hand, Blake is his wife. Naturally, he wants to shield her from negative press or career pitfalls. On the other, Ryan's own brand thrives on staying squeaky clean, being well-liked by fans and fellow professionals. If Blake's rumored power moves create friction on a Marvel set, does that jeopardize Ryan's carefully cultivated persona? Some claim he's been walking on eggshells to ensure that any blowback doesn't land on him. Taylor Swift's role in this drama is equally intriguing. Known for a fiercely loyal circle, she's often stood by Blake through thick and thin. Yet swirling claims suggest even Taylor might be quietly distancing herself. Why? Possibly because the It Ends With Us fiasco, combined with the Deadpool 3 controversy, is becoming too big and too messy to ignore. The last thing Taylor needs is more drama, especially at a time when her own tours and personal life generate massive media attention. If she's truly stepping back, it signals that the spectacle around Blake might be detrimental enough to alarm even her closest friends. Watching this develop is like glimpsing a medieval court in disarray. The queen losing the allegiance of her knights, cracks forming in alliances once deemed unbreakable. Is that too dramatic an analogy? Perhaps, but with so many swirling rumors, each day feels like a new chapter in an unfolding saga. Maybe the dragons still stand by her side, or maybe they've begun quietly closing ranks to protect themselves first. Hollywood is no stranger to tumultuous on-set stories, but reputations are everything in a town where image can make or break careers. If the rumors about Blake Lively's behind-the-scenes maneuvers hold any truth, the ramifications could be huge. Studios pour hundreds of millions into a blockbuster like Deadpool 3 and expect a seamless production, not a covert power struggle. The slightest hint of chaos can make executive boards uneasy. Brands, too, are sensitive. Blake has long been a darling of fashion houses and lifestyle sponsors, admired for her style and squeaky clean public persona. If negative stories keep piling up, especially ones hinting at manipulative or toxic behavior, sponsorship deals could dwindle. Already, public comparisons to previous Hollywood controversies are simmering beneath the surface. While no one's openly calling her the next Amber Heard or referencing other infamous industry downfalls, the mere whisper of such comparisons shows how precarious her situation might be. As more details trickle out, some suspect the film's marketing team might try to spin the rumors as part of a playful Deadpool-esque narrative. But that's a risky strategy. If audiences come to believe that real behind-the-scenes drama overshadowed the genuine creativity, it could sour the film's release. Worse, it could create tension among co-stars who feel they've been used as pawns in a PR game. Only time will tell if the hype machine manages to turn these controversies into box office gold, or if they become a cinematic cautionary tale. For now, the tension remains sky-high. Insiders whisper about possible contract renegotiations, hush-hush clauses, and potential lawsuits related to rumored leaks. The entire fiasco could be resolved by the film's release date, or it could explode into a bigger scandal that outlasts the marketing cycle. Either way, the question looms: has Blake Lively overplayed her hand, or is she just beginning to show Hollywood who's really in charge? From a single snapshot on a Marvel movie set to whispers of alleged sabotage, legal threats, and the crumbling alliances of once loyal friends, Blake Lively's story has snowballed into one of the most talked about sagas in entertainment right now. Accusations that she poisoned casts in her Gossip Girl days have found new life in discussions about Deadpool 3's rumored rewrites. Echoes of the Justin Baldoni debacle shape the narrative that Blake consistently claims creative space that isn't officially hers. Meanwhile, giants like Hugh Jackman seem rattled, and even her closest confidants might be stepping away. Will Blake emerge from these swirling rumors with her stardom intact, proving that she's merely a committed performer who passionately invests in her projects? Or is she truly the behind-the-scenes manipulator some accuse her of being? Hollywood thrives on reinvention, just as it thrives on tearing people down. If Blake manages to silence the negativity and deliver a show-stopping performance, critics may laud her as a visionary with guts. But if the tension keeps building, we could witness a dramatic downfall the likes of which Tinseltown rarely forgets. Ultimately, only those directly on set know the real story. The rest of us are left sifting through rumors, reading between lines of interviews, and watching for tiny signals, like a subtle unfollow on social media or a pointed comment in a late-night talk show monologue. The truth may lie somewhere in the middle, a product of big personalities, high stakes, and the chaos that happens when art meets commerce. For fans, it's another mesmerizing chapter in Hollywood's endless script of ambition, rivalry, and intrigue. Regardless of how this all concludes, one fact is certain: the hype around Deadpool 3 has multiplied tenfold, and every fresh leak or cryptic statement only intensifies curiosity. Will the final cut bear Blake Lively's unmistakable imprint? And what does it mean for the power couples and friendships that once seemed unshakable? Keep your eyes on the headlines, because if there's one thing we've learned, it's that every day brings a new twist. The real question is, how far will Blake's alleged behind-the-scenes influence go? And could it potentially rewrite the script not just for one film, but for her entire future in Hollywood?